Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's Donald Arthur Mattingly bobblehead day here at the stadium. Crowd filing in. There's some happy people. They got the bobblehead of Donnie Baseball. And now it's time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees have been struggling offensively, but last night they snapped out of it, an 8-0 victory over the Indians. So as they return to the Bronx, Paul, the Bombers returned as well.
Well, they certainly did, and it was fun for us. I mean, we got to watch long ball early and often, and Joey Gallo, who has been on a roll, got him going last night with a laser over the Lays sign in the second deck. Aaron Judge, which he's been doing a lot lately, goes the other way into the bullpen. But then Brett Gardner, the old fella, he breaks it wide open with a 3-run homer late. This was my favorite because I got to call it. I stepped all over you, Michael. I called that home run. And then Joey Gallo, just for fun, as Michael would say, just showing off at this point. But 5 home runs. The Bombers were bombing last night.
Heating up down the stretch indeed. Last 24 games, you see what Judge has done. Last 9, Stanton hitting .351. Gallo, 7 home runs last 13 games. And the veteran, 38-year-old Brett Gardner, his last 10 games, he's red hot. .316, 3 homers, and 10 runs batted in. Offensive power indeed. Yankees looking for some power pitching from their youngster, Luis Gil. He will get the start in this one. Meredith Marakovitz talks to Aaron Boone about his young right-hander next, right here on Yes.
For Yankees baseball on Yes, Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the Indians coming your way in just a few minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. This afternoon, Luis Gil will make his 6th start of the season, and for the most part, he has impressed so far. He's struck out 32 batters over his first 5, and his elite fastball along with his slider and his change have clearly played well at this level. Earlier today, I spoke to Aaron Boone about the rookie.
You can see at times he's definitely not a finished product, but you also see like why we're so excited about him. I mean, this is a guy with a big arm, really good stuff. I think he competes really well. I think he likes pitching up here. He's not overwhelmed by being at this level. And if he goes out and he's pounding the strike zone, he's difficult to hit.
Heel will be throwing to Gary Sanchez this afternoon. Brett Gardner remains in center field, and Luke Voigt is in there at first base. Just a day, according to Aaron Boone, for Anthony Rizzo. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Here in the Bronx, a postcard day. Just gorgeous, a perfect day for baseball. Crowd filing into Yankee Stadium for game 2 of this 3-game set. And the Yankees, as you know, they have to keep winning games as they try to secure a playoff spot for the postseason. Yesterday was 8-0, and today, this is the Indians lineup that they will face, and it is brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Straw, Mercado, and Jose Ramirez at the top. Then Franmil Reyes is the DH, and he's 5th in the American League this season. He hits a home run every 12.90 at-bats, followed by Harold Ramirez and Yu Chang. And the bottom third of the order is Owen Miller, Austin Hedges, a good defensive catcher, and Andres Jimenez, the shortstop. He is going to bat 9th. The Yankees have taken the field, and Luis Gil, the youngster, will begin his warm-ups. This will be his 6th big league start. He's acquitted himself well. 2.88 ERA, 25 innings, 32 strikeouts, too many walks with 15, 3 home runs. Opponents hit 183 against him. And now it's time, Paul, for the scouting report on Gil.
Well, he had a nice recovery his last game. He got off to a horrible start, gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but he bounced back, got through 6th innings, and gave the Yankees a chance to come back. And you know, growing up fast, right into a pennant race. I think he's handled it great. He was an impact immediately when he got called up, and this is a big start for him today. And left turn, talking about his slider, and it is a good one. It's been really good. 140 batting average against it, 39% strikeout rate, and absolutely no extra base hits on that pitch this year. That goes along with his high 90s fastball. That's good stuff to work with, Michael.
Absolutely. He's got really electric stuff. Let's take a look at the defense behind him. It's presented by Geico. Gallo, Gardner, and Judge. That's your outfield left to right. Infield, LeMahieu, Urshela, Torres, and Voigt gets the start. Rizzo with the day off. Sanchez behind the plate. And Luis Gil is on the mound for the Yanks. Hey, Paul, it's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Tell us.
Well, the Bombers are back. We talked about it, a season-high 5 home runs, and they've done it twice in the last 4 games. And King's Ransom, we got to mention this. Michael King has been so good. Back-to-back multi-inning outings. Really saved the bullpen for today. He's done a great job. And then until Loaiza gets back, he could fill a big role in the everyday shuffle. By winning last night, the wild card again has been shuffled. The Yankees are in. That just shows the importance of every single game coming down the stretch here.
Indians are 71-74. They're out of a playoff push. The Yankees are 83-65, and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays all have 65 losses. Straw is ready. Gil's ready. Let's do it. Here in the Bronx, And the first pitch is a strike. We're underway. Let's get you set up with the umps. Bill Welke is the crew chief and the home plate umpire. Pat Hoberg at first, Chris Conroy at second, and Ben May is over at third. There's a strike, 0-2. You want to keep Straw off the bases. He has 27 stolen bases. You can hear in the background the bleacher creatures with the roll call. The 0-2 outside, 1-2. And the right-hander rocks and deals outside, 2-2. Really, the only part of Field's game that needs refining is obviously his command. His stuff is big league, high level ready, but consistent strike throwing, that's going to be the issue as he continues to mature and emerge as a big-time starter. And as Paul mentioned in his last start, he could have let it get away from him. He didn't. He still gave the Yankees 6 innings, and they came back to win that game. Outside, 3-2.
It's a good at-bat by Straw. 3 consecutive sliders after going 0-2 on fastballs. Not able to put him away. Imagine you'd have to go back to the fastball here with a full count. You talked about it, Michael. You've got to keep Straw off the bases. He's got a lot of speed.
Strike 3. Slider clipped the outside corner. Straw down on strikes.
Well, he got me too, Michael. I mean, you go back to back to back, and then you go to a 3-2 slider and throw a good one. It just locks you up. Great way to start the day.
Here is Mercado. That one is lined down the left field line. It's a base hit. It's going to go to the wall. Fielded out there by Gallo. Going for second is Mercado. The throw not in time. It's a double.
First ball fastball hitter. Mercado ready for that one, and he's really kind of jumped back from playing time with injuries. He was kind of the 4th outfielder. Now back in the lineup today and just hammers one down the left field line. All of a sudden, after a quick out, got a man in scoring position.
So here is Jose Ramirez. 42 games against the Yankees, a .370 hitter. Pitch outside, 1-0 to Ramirez. Putting together another really good season. One of the real fine unsung players in the game. Doesn't have a high profile, but around the game he does. 2-0. Might not be the most well-known player to fans, but in Cleveland they love him, and GMs around the game know the value of this guy. Mercado leads off second, just underway here at the stadium. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. The 2-0. Tap back to the mound. Heel Fields. As Mercado moves to third. Take a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 80 degrees, no chance of rain, humidity 57%, and the wind is out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour.
It's a Chamber of Commerce weather you're talking. What's that even mean? I've heard that, Michael. Explain that.
Well, I mean, the Chamber of Commerce promotes the town or the city, and this is the kind of day that they would actually put on a video and say, look, this is why you should love the New York City area and the Bronx in particular. Pitch to Reyes is high. Today's a little toasty here, Paul. I'll tell you the truth. It's kind of hot.
You know, it's amazing the consistency of temperature where I'm doing games from, Michael. It doesn't vary much. It's about 72 every single day with no chance of rain.
Climate controlled Studio 21.
Yeah, Absolutely. Might have some radon amongst us down here in the basement, but everything else is just fine.
That's a nasty pitch to Reyes.
Like you said last night, we talked about it. I mean, they have so much offense within two people, being Ramirez and Reyes. And you got the big out. Ramirez a little chopper and a 2-0 pitch, and now you cannot make a mistake to Reyes. Even if you have to pitch around him, you cannot make a mistake to him with his home run power.
And this is a lineup that could be pitched to. They've been no hit 3 times, and really 4, because one was a notable achievement. They were no hit for 7 innings. It wasn't credited as a no hitter. The 1-2, swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Heel in the first. No runs a hit. 1 man left on base. Indians nothing. And the New York Yankees coming to bat. The first now it's the Yankees' turn against Aaron Savali, and we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. LeMahieu, Voit, and Judge at the top of the order. Then it's Stanton, Gallo, and Torres. Take a look at Gallo. His last 6 starts, 6 home runs, 7 ribbies, and a bloated OPS of 1.557. You'll take that. And the bottom third of the order, Gary Sanchez returns behind the plate, Brett Gardner in center, and Gio Urshela at short. And they will face the Indians' right-hander Aaron Savali, making his 18th start, 10-4, 3.76. The numbers are good, Paul. So let's take a look at the scouting report.
Oh, I tell you, the season was really good up to June 24th, and it got interrupted. He was leading the American League with 10 wins June 21st. Then he got hurt. He had a sprained middle finger, and this is only his 3rd start back. He has it all. I mean, he throws everything. Fastball, cutter, changeup, sinker, splitter, slider. I don't think the catcher has that many fingers, but he's got all the pitches. And his reverse split's a little interesting. Right-handers hit better against a right-handed pitcher at 258. Lefties at 231.
And Savali deals. And there's a strike, 0-1. Swing and a miss. I'm amazed, Paul, that when you were a player that you didn't suffer the same injury as Savali did, because, I mean, the way you greeted me when I came into the clubhouse, you figured you'd injure that, did you?
You know what? We're in the first inning here, and you're throwing daggers out there. What are you doing?
The 0-2. 1-2. Yankees have won 5 of 7, and the Indians have lost 8 of 11. One-two, just missed inside.
Michael, we were talking last night about the fan, you know, the numbers behind like 91 wins, and you know, I thought they had to get into double digits. You thought it was 9-6. I thought maybe 10-5, 11-4. So you got the win last night.
Fly ball in the center. Straw on the run. Still going back. It's going to be over his head and up against the wall. LeMahieu starts it off with a double.
As he did last night, lined one up the middle. But, you know, Straw, a lot of center fielders with a ton of speed almost dare you to hit it over your head. You see that kind of side step that cost him a catch there. Straw, great speed. Ball beat him to the wall. Great start for the Yankees.
So what were you saying about the win total, Paul?
Well, I was thinking last night you were saying, you know, to get to 91, 92 wins, they had to go 9-6. It was last night. So they won last night. I thought it was going to be 10-5, 11-4. So I still am with those numbers because of the scheduling. If you look at the other teams fighting, you know, some of the weaker schedules coming their way. But, you know, as I said last night, I don't ever think that the Yankees are overmatched out on the field. It's just their inconsistency sometimes can be frustrating as a fan. But, you know, they could put together a nice little run here and walk into the playoffs feeling good about that wild card game.
And Luke Voigt gets plunked. So that'll put runners on first and second with nobody out.
You know, you have a couple days off. You're all excited for your first bat, and all of a sudden you get smoked, Michael, right out of the get-go. Running in right off the forearm and then into the chest.
So here's Aaron Judge. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Judge with a long home run into the Yankee bullpen yesterday. And there's a strike. Let's take a look at the Indians defense presented by Geico. It's Mercado in left. We've already seen Straw in center, and Harold Ramirez is over in right. Jose Ramirez, Jimenez, Miller, and Chang third to first. Very good defensive catcher. Hedges behind the plate. Savali's on the mound. Grounded to short. This could be two. There's one. And there's two. So that takes the starch out of the rally with just one swing.
And sometimes that first inning, Michael, you know, you're just getting into the groove of the game, and you know you're not quite in, and you get that big at bat in the first inning. Savali running a two-seamer up and in. Aaron Judge really covering the outside corner last night. Just got jammed.
So here is Stanton. If he gives us a ride, Paul, I'm going to lay out. You take over with the call, all right?
I got Stanton the rest of the year.
Yes, you got Stanton. That's your guy.
That's a good guy for me to have because I only got like a half a second to mess up because he gets them out quick.
Just missed. Savali is from Windsor, Connecticut. That's just outside of Hartford. And he grew up a Red Sox fan. Third big league season. Big cut. Let's take a look at the Indeed player resume on Aaron Savali. Told you, 26 years old, third round pick in the draft out of Northeastern, and this year's Indians nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. Just clipped the inside corner, 2-2.
I'm looking at the monitor. Is that Brett behind you? I see Audrey off today. Got a new guy in the house there?
Absolutely.
Snuck him in there without telling me? Nice.
Audrey's whole year has been load management. It's unbelievable. She's the Kawhi Leonard of the booth. Here's the 2-2. That one is ripped to right field. Ramirez is there, and he'll make the play for the final out. No runs, a hit. One man left on base. We go to the second. It's 0-0 right here on Yes. Kyle Higashioka for the 2021 Roberto Clemente Award, which recognizes players who best represent the game through positive contributions on and off the field. Vote today at MLB.com/Clemente21. No, it's quite an honor to even be nominated for Kyle. I'm sure he'd love to win that award. Ken Singleton is as proud of that award as winning a World Series. It really means a lot to players. It means that, as it said, both on the field and off the field, a contribution. So good for Kyle, and congratulations. Here is Harold Ramirez to start the second. Sliders outside 1-0. Ramirez, Chang, and Owen Miller. Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. Yesterday, the Indians got shut out. 12th time they've been shut out this year. And only Texas has been shut out more with 13. And the Indians are tied with the Angels with 12 shutouts as well.
Talking on that point, Michael, this is the inning. You know, you got through Ramirez, you got through Reyes. You know, you got 4 or 5 guys that you just have to bury, because you know you're going to have to make your pitches throughout the game to Ramirez and Reyes. So you know there is a time where you really got to bury hitters and keep them off the base before the big boys walk up there again. Important couple innings here for Heel.
Swing and a miss. That slider's working. 3 strikeouts for Heel.
All on sliders also, Michael, and again he is starting to find the outside corner with that slider instead of outside. You know, if you pick this ball up out of his hand from a hitter, it looks like a strike. Once early in the game you pick it out, they were balls right out of his hand. Now you're getting the swing and misses.
You know, and talking to people around the Indians, Paul, you know, they asked me about Heel. I said he has really good stuff, but you know his command sometimes falls into question. They said, well, this is the perfect matchup. This is not a discerning offensive lineup. It's just not. They are going to chase. They'll help the pitcher out if he's off the plate. Interim manager DeMarlo Hale taking over for Terry Francona, who is recuperating from some surgery.
Hale, originally the bench coach this year, was Francona's staff in Boston from 2006 to 2011.
That one is drilled deep to left field. Gallo turns, looks, see ya. Home run for Chang. And just like that, the Indians have a 1-0 lead.
Well, Chang was sent down. He was the everyday first baseman coming into the year and really struggled. And then he just got called up a few weeks ago. And the power is back, 425 feet on that one. A hanging slider. It's a problem when you don't get that slider out to the outside corner. It sits there for the hitter.
Just kind of spun up there, hung in the zone. Here's Miller, and there's a strike. Paul, when you're at the plate and you see that, as the players call, cement mixer coming out, as your eyes just get real wide.
It's amazing because you adjust to the spin of the ball, and then you see that there's no break, and you can almost where it's going as you're swinging. It's just one of those perfect feelings, and it's amazing how that ball just carries because it just speeds your bat up where you get out a little bit farther in front than you would on a fastball. Ball travels a long way.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Again on a slider. 4 strikeouts for Heel.
Well, that's the important thing to do. I mean, if you give up a home run on a slider, you still can't get gun shy. You just got to make a better pitch. You got to stick with it. And this is a good one. This ends up out of the strike zone. Even though middle of the plate, ended up out of the strike zone low.
Here is Austin Hedges. And he came over from San Diego. The deadline last year, and the deal that had the Indians send Mike Clevenger to the Padres. It was a 9-player deal. That one is lined to right field. Judge is right there, and that'll do it. Well, the Indians take the lead on the Chang home run. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Indians 1, Yankees nothing. The 2nd inning, and he's been red hot of late, especially with the power. And Paul, you noticed a little something different in his setup.
Well, if you look at the right, which was last night, look how neutral the front shoulder is, and on the left how it's just kind of tucked a little bit. And what that does is if you kind of stride into it, it kind of cuts you off where you can't get extended. See how he kind of pulls that shoulder in, and then you have to kind of fly open. where if you're a little more neutral, you can let the ball travel a little bit more. You don't drift with your head, and it just allows you to clear everything. The hips and the bat, very minor adjustment. But boy, I tell you what, it's like night and day the way he's swinging the bat.
So he'll dig in now. We'll bring in Meredith to piggyback on that, because Meredith, you spoke to him on the field after the game, and he admitted to a little bit of a change.
No doubt about it. He kind of spoke about what Paul spoke about. And while there were mechanical adjustments, it wasn't just that. He said he found his rhythm, and with that rhythm came more confidence at the plate. He thought maybe he was trying to do a little bit too much, but when he made his mind up that he was going to relax, just be him in the batter's box, that's when good things seem to happen. So, Paul, I'm sure you can talk about this. The confidence in the batter's box, a big part of it as well.
Ramirez puts it away, one down.
I mean, you start seeing balls flying out there, going over the wall, and you start to become part of this offense like he expected. All of a sudden, you feel better as a person, as a player. Everything seems to kind of fall into place.
Here's Gleyber Torres, batting in the 6th hole in the lineup, playing second base. Also, when he was really struggling, Paul, they sat him down. And during that time that he sat down, made it a point to work on the high velocity machine. What does that do?
Well, it makes you quick, and you know it's funny because some people love it. Some people, I hated to hit off of machines because there was no arm to gauge timing on, and my whole timing mechanism was through a leg kick. But you know, when it's just shooting out of a machine, you have a tendency to kind of lunge, but it makes you use your hands. It makes you adjust and get that bat head out in front. So that must be one of his drills. Seemed to help.
Single up the middle of the bat of Torres, so a 1-out single. That'll bring up Sanchez.
Gleyber Torres right up the middle. A lot of times this day and age, that ball won't even find a hole. This did over second base into center field. Again, Yankees with a runner. And try to jump on these guys early, get them out of the game. Michael, we've talked about it so many times when you're playing teams that are just playing the season out, as the Indians are. If you can get ahead of them early, a lot of times you can walk through the game.
Here's Gary Sanchez. The Indians do not shift for Sanchez or for Torres as much as other teams, because the Indians keep the second baseman Miller on the second base side of the bag. For both of these players, most teams have 3 infielders on the left side. If the Indians had, that ball would have been fielded and Torres would have been out, but they have different info, so they go this way. 1-1. Well, Gary Sanchez had a rough 9th inning in Baltimore. That was one wild pitch. And then with a runner on third, this was the game-tying wild pitch as Gutierrez scored, and the Yankees ended up losing in 10 innings. A really tough loss, but they bounced back last night. 2-1. So Gary had yesterday off. Higashioka caught Kluber. And Higashioka will catch again tomorrow with Garrett Cole on the mound. So Gary gets to start with Luis Heel. The 2-1. Lined and foul. A score of interest. The Red Sox lead the Orioles 3-2. Top of the 2nd inning at Fenway Park. Keep an eye on that as the game goes along. At 3 o'clock, it'll be Minnesota at Toronto. Seattle and KC, 7:10 start. And Oakland and the Angels, 9:07 start. Breaking ball, strike 3. Sanchez down looking, 2 away.
Again, these are the type of at-bats you're going to get against Savali, I mean, where you really can't sit on a pitch first time you saw this big breaking ball in the count, and it just fools you because you've seen everything else but that.
So here is Brett Gardner. You know, Gardner has played his way into almost having to be in the lineup every single day. He's been red hot since August 1st. And he's been a rock for them. Runner goes. Strike, throw to second. Got him. So Gleyber Torres is gunned down by Hedges to end the inning. No runs ahead, nobody left on base. We'll go to the third. It's 1-0 Indians. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Today's picture was submitted by Javier Nieves. He recently took his 3 grandkids to their first Yankee game. Pretty cool. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees, and we might spotlight you in a future game.
Do you remember your first Major League game, Michael?
Yes, I do.
Isn't it amazing? Because, you know, we have been talking a lot about Roberto Clemente recently. My first game that I got to go to, Crosley Field, it was like a summer vacation for my family. You know, you drove from Columbus to Cincinnati. Crosley Field, I took a picture. I was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, and Roberto Clemente was in the background as the right fielder for the Pirates. Pretty cool stuff.
You still have that picture?
I do. They actually, Major League Baseball did a thing years and years ago about kids. They made baseball cards of Major League players as kids, and that is the picture that they use for my baseball card.
Pitch is high. Yeah, my first game, I believe it was in 1969 or 70 at the old stadium, and it was against the Washington Senators. And it was ball day. And because I'm a lunatic and a bit of a hoarder, I still have that baseball.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, those are stories. I mean, your first game, just things like that bring back memories. And, seeing that picture that you just brought up, I mean, it's pretty cool stuff.
There's the great Clemente. Line drive. That's going to be a base hit in front of Gallo. So Jimenez with a single to start off the third.
Jimenez had a couple hits last night. He hit the ball well. I mean, this is just a good piece of hitting. Ball up in the strike zone a little bit, but really not a bad pitch. Jimenez goes with it, lines at the left field.
So now back to the top of the order, and Miles Straw, who struck out looking in the first. Jimenez, a threat to go. The pitch is low, blocked by Sanchez.
Yeah, Michael, he is more than a threat. 10 for 10 so far. Jimenez is stolen bases, so we talked yesterday about his instincts. Obviously, he runs the bases well. 10 for 10 is a pretty good percentage.
And the Indians, in a day and age where not that many teams run, although it's starting to pick up a bit, they steal at an 88% success rate, which is outstanding. And in the analytical age, you've got to be successful between 75 and 80% to even make it worthwhile. So they've made it worthwhile. Runner goes. Grounded to short. Urshela fields, fires. They get Straw. Moving to second is Jimenez.
I actually think the Yankees got a break there. Looked like Jimenez had a good jump from first base, where at least you get an out of it. Gio Urshela realized that Straw has good wheels. He can't wait too long, but Jimenez off to the races there. Runner in motion, saves a double play.
So here's Mercado, who doubled down the line in left field in the first inning, but he was stranded there. 1-0 Indians on the Chang home run.
He had a first pitch fastball, and you know, pitchers don't forget. A lot of times, you know, you get a first pitch fastball and you line it down the left field line, chances are you're going to see something with a little spin on it. Pitch one. He went with a changeup just to try to mess him up a little bit. It is amazing to me, Michael, how pitchers remember what pitches you hit. Could be a month down the road if you hit a home run off of a certain pitch as a hitter. You, in the back of your mind, you know you're probably not going to see it again.
High fly ball, shallow left, backing up Urshela, coming in Gallo. Gallo with the call and the catch for the second out.
Always the left fielder's job to call off a middle infielder, but you know, Michael, we have talked about it this time of the year at Yankee Stadium. The glare, the sun, because it's late in the year, becomes an issue for the left fielder. So those balls, a lot of times you can't take your eye off of them and know where the middle infielder is. Has to be a lot of vocal communication.
Here's Ramirez. They got him to tap back to the mound in the first inning with a runner on second. How about this, Paul? Because James Smythe can find anything out. He looked it up. Ball day in 1970 was against the Senators, as my memory served correct, and it was on July 4th. So I picked a holiday to go to my first game.
Probably saw fireworks that night, a ball game. I mean, is that all American or what?
Unbelievable. Had a hot dog.
You're still doing that, aren't you?
Imagine me, a big-headed 9-year-old, walking into the stadium for the first time.
So your head grew before your body? Is that what you're telling me? It stopped growing at about 9. The rest of you caught up.
0-2 on Ramirez. Runner on second with 2 outs. We're in the third inning. It's 1-0 Indians. Lined and a foul ball.
Again, that slider that didn't quite make it to the inside corner on Ramirez, but just enough off of it where he hooked it foul, but you cannot make mistakes against him too many times in an at-bat or he will hurt you.
And Sanchez wants to talk things over. Long conversation. Well, a nice long talk is over, and the count 0-2. Holds up. 1-2. Two and two on Ramirez. Jimenez leads off second. 2 men out. 2-2 count. And the youngster Heel delivers. Fouled away.
Yeah, I was just thinking a great thing. See that?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. They brought it up.
Look at you. You had the same stance.
Well, I tell you one thing. You know what? See that bat? That was my present. I got to buy one of the little bats at the ballpark, so I didn't get the hot dog, Michael. We didn't have enough money for 6 kids getting hot dogs. But I did get a bat, and that is Roberto Clemente in the background.
That's awesome. Your son Andy, a twin. I mean, you guys look identically alike.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, Michael. It's nice to know that you have something to do with your kids. They kind of look like you. It's like, wow, that's good. Don't act like me. It's all right if you look like me, but you don't want to act like me.
No, Andy acts. He's a doctor. He's done good. Here's the 3-2. Just got a piece.
Well, he has really stayed with off-speed stuff in this at bat. Last 4 pitches, sliders, change-ups.
Oh, what a good at bat. Really tough battle. Then he ends up working a walk to put runners on first and second for Reyes.
You know, not a huge mistake if you're Heel to not give in. I mean, obviously, you've got another big bat with Franmil Reyes coming up, but you know, you struck him out first time up on a good slider, so probably a little bit better matchup than giving in to Ramirez.
Pitch is high. Gonna work out of it. High pop up. And Urshela puts it away to retire Franmil Reyes. No runs a hit. 2 men left. Heel battling. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Chase. Get the Chase Business Complete Banking account with the essentials you need to help get your business up and running. By Cadillac. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer and experience the ultimate in iconic luxury. And by FanDuel. More ways to win. Some Yankees and Indians and guys that have shared that uniform. CC Sabathia. CC Sabathia was at Derek Jeter's induction, and you know, the general feeling is that CC's probably going to be the next Yankee that gets into the Hall of Fame.
Well deserved. Has some kind of career both with the Indians and the Yankees.
And for about a month and a half with Milwaukee.
I was going to say that really just opened everybody's eyes what he did with Milwaukee, pitching on little rest in a contract year, taking them into the playoffs. Some people just want to play baseball and they worry about the rest of the stuff at the end of the year.
Yeah, he made 3 straight starts on 3 days rest and was advised by some, don't do this, you're going to be a free agent, and he wouldn't hear it. And he did do it, and he helped Milwaukee into the postseason. And his son, Little C, his name is Karsten, is one of the best baseball prospects in New Jersey right now. He plays first base. And CC always wanted to hit anyway rather than pitch, so.
Yeah, he loved the interleague play where, you know, you got to grab the bat and get up there and swing it a little bit.
1-2. 2-2. Gardner was at the plate when Gleyber Torres was caught stealing to end the second inning, so he started with a fresh count this inning. He's worked at the 2-2.
Yeah, you talked about Austin Hedges defensively. He is way above average throwing, 33%. I mean, they average at 24, so with that, almost 10% above average. And he's had a lot of playing time this year, with Perez being injured a lot of the year behind the plate.
Cutter gets Gardner for the first out.
It's like a short little slider, very hard to pick up as a hitter. Totally different spin, where a slider you can really see the side spin. A cutter really almost looks like a fastball, and it just has that little movement at the end.
One 1-0 to Urshela. You know, Savali kind of overhauled his delivery, made it much shorter. Also works out of what looks like a stretch. Just keeping it simple. Foul back. And I guess they call it shortening the arm action. And Lucas Giolito of the White Sox and Jameson Taillon of the Yankees have done that. And interesting, Paul, in order to kind of revamp and get shorter and quicker to the mound, he started throwing a football just to disassociate himself from throwing a baseball, and then revamped everything. It's worked, other than the injury that derailed him. He's been a good pitcher this year.
You know, it's funny, the first pitcher I saw throwing a football in the outfield was Nolan Ryan, and it just caught my attention. But you know, the theory behind it, much heavier, different delivery, but you know, creates a lot of arm strength because of how hard it is to throw.
Yeah, a guy who really preached that was Tom House, who's into all the biomechanics of arm motion and pitching. And he's also got a place in baseball history because he's the one who caught Hank Aaron's 715th home run in the bullpen at Atlanta. He was Bobby Valentine's pitching coach in Texas when Nolan Ryan was throwing the football around. Pitch outside, 1-0. Did you play football, Paul?
Michael, I thought you. I did. I played all the way through high school. I mean, like I said, in the old days, you just played whatever season it was you played. You played football, you played baseball, you played basketball. And it, you know, you look forward to the different season. Football never, I mean, I had a blast playing, but it was never my favorite sport. Basketball and baseball were my number ones coming through high school.
Did you play quarterback or you played another position?
I did. I did all the way up to my 11th grade year, and then was kind of talked out of it by my basketball and baseball coach, saying, you know, you have much more of a future in these other sports. But like I had told you in the past, to date a cheerleader, you had to play football. Mama was a cheerleader, so I played football.
Got to do what Neville tells you to do. We go to the fourth. It's 1-0
right.
Cleveland. Time for trivia. Judge, Stanton, and Gallo each homered in the same game twice this week. What Yankees trio homered in the same game a team record 8 times? Wow. Tyler Wade takes over in left field. And now you have to wonder what's up with Gallo.
Good sign.
Audi scoreboard is 1-0 Indians. So Gallo, who's been one of the hottest hitters, is now taken out of the game in the 4th inning. So as soon as we find out what's up, we will certainly relay it to you. 1-1. Foul back and over the screen. Ramirez fouls it back. Still 2-2. Ramirez heating up a bit, hitting .304 over his last 14 games. He spoils that one. No, it's interesting what Aaron Boone said to Meredith about Heel, where he wants to be here. He's not scared by the moment. It's not too big for him. He embraces it. He embraces the fact that he's pitching for the Yankees on that mound here in the Bronx. A lot of youngsters, they're a little intimidated. They all want to be here, but it seems like he feels he belongs, and that's a big step for Kidd. So in 3 innings, he's walked 1 and struck out 4. The only blemish is the home run by Chang, who's on deck. And a walk to Harold Ramirez to start off the 4th inning.
Well, Ramirez was hard to walk on that at bat. He was swinging at everything, but he was fouling them off. Finally got to a 3-2 pitch and a slider clearly outside.
So here's Chang, who hit a hanging slider into the left field seats in the 2nd inning. And that's the score, 1-0 Indians in the 4th. Just missed Chang.
All of a sudden it looks like he's searching kind of for a 3rd pitch, not being able to just throw fastball slider, and has not found location with that changeup yet. It really runs into righties.
Popped him up. Voit. 1 down here in the 4th.
You know, Michael, every once in a while you will get a pitcher who's just kind of around the zone enough to make it very difficult to kind of tunnel vision in right down the middle, and that's where Heel is right now. Guys swinging the balls outside, up in the strike zone. Very effective to be a little bit wild at times.
So here's Miller, struck out in the 2nd. Pitch is high. Two and 0.
Michael, you talked about Hedges coming over in that deal for Clevenger last year. Well, Owen Miller were part of that trade also. It wasn't just a couple people. They got a whole handful. A couple of them playing for the Indians today.
Also part of that deal, Josh Naylor and Cal Quantrill. So the Indians are really pleased with that deal. They thought they got a great haul for Clevenger.
Yeah, you got to wonder where this organization is going. I mean, you have Terry Francona, one of the game's elite managers, signed through 22, so another year. And, you know, seldom do you have that type of a manager in a rebuild. But, you know, there's some holes to be filled here, no doubt about it. But, you know, you've spoke that they've got options on Ramirez to keep him. So, you know, you've got some other issues to fill. But you got Bieber coming back, some good pitching. Just wonder how far they are from being able to contend again.
You know, they had to make the major deal in dealing Lindor to the Mets, and they tried to sign Lindor. They really did make an effort. And they kind of said to him, listen, can we afford $35 million a year for you? Yeah, we could, but then we can't surround you with a team. So if you take like 24 or 25, and his agent shut that down and said no. And so he ends up getting $341 million in 10 years from the Mets. But he really enjoyed himself in Cleveland. He was He was an iconic player there, but you know, a team like Cleveland can't spend that sort of money on just one player and then fill out the rest of the roster. That's why they're always churning over their roster. 3-1. And there's a walk. Slider misses. So now 2 walks in this inning and 3 on the game for Heel, and that'll bring out Matt Blake.
Michael, let me ask you a question. And give me an honest answer, because you and I have never been in this situation. But you take Lindor, for example. What's the difference between $350 million or $320 million or $300 million? I mean, you can't spend it. I mean, what is the difference when you get to that type of money?
You know what, Paul? It's a good question, and it's asked about in all sports, where you should, you know, probably just stay where you're happy. But that's also the way the players keep score. You know, it's about ego too. As you said, is your lifestyle going to change if you made $250 or $350 million? Probably not, but it will show your peers that, you know, you're on the top level. I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah, and you know, you also have to look at it to the point where if you undervalue yourself as a superstar, then everybody below you is going to be somewhat undervalued also, because they're going to stand their numbers up to yours.
Here is Austin Hedges. Swing and a miss. Now you're telling me, Paul, in all honesty, that Neville couldn't spend $350 million?
She'd give it a good try, but that's a lot of money. I tell you that.
One and one. Albert Abreu getting ready. It's 1-0 Indians. We're in the top of the 4th inning. First and second, 1 man out. 1 and 2.
Yeah, and up in the strike zone, great stuff. If he could just locate a little bit here, he's going to cruise, but having trouble finding a third pitch and being able to put hitters away with that good slider away.
You can see he saves a little something on his fastball, Paul, so he's always sitting about 95. That pitch was 97, so when he needs it, he reaches back a bit more.
Yeah, that was actually a good try by Gary Sanchez to try to get a strikeout sticking with the fastball, not going back to the slider. Sometimes if you stick with one pitch, you can find that control much easier.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Slider didn't come close. Missed that one by about 1.5 feet. 2 down.
Yeah, those are set up by a fastball inside that you're beat on the pitch before. As a hitter, you're like, I can't get beat inside. Front hip opens. Slider goes away. No chance.
So here is Andres Jimenez. Swing and a miss.
He went with that changeup, and that's a good pitch for him against lefties. Jimenez showed earlier in the game that he'll cover that fastball away. But if you take a little bit off, way out in front.
So 0-2.
Great sequence right there. Change up away, 97 in. Pretty much do anything you want here. Strike zone, strike up in the strike zone, a high fastball, or that slider down and in.
Did he go around? Yes, he did. Jimenez down on strike. So a nice bounce back from Heel as he pitches through the 2 walks. So the Indians strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Answer for the trivia question. Judge, Stanton, and Gallo each homered in the same game twice this week. Which Yankees trio homered in the same game a team record 8 times?
It's got to be Gehrig and Ruth and a couple other teammates, right?
Or Mantle and Maris and another guy? Oh, look at that. Tony Lazzari.
Nice.
We thank Stats for coming up with that, putting that trivia question together. As Luke Voigt takes outside, 1-0 on the Audi scoreboard. It's 1-0 Indians over the Yankees. Indians with 3 hits, the Yankees 2 against Aaron Savali. One and one.
This is kind of the inning. This inning, the next inning, you know, the Yankees need to try to take charge of this game somewhat. I always thought that these games, you just kind of show up and play your way into them instead of kind of taking control, taking charge. I realize this game's much more important to you as a Yankee player than the Cleveland Indians, and he has pitched it out of some jams, have kept you right there 1-0. Time for the offense to get going, change the momentum of this game.
2-2. I'm going to give you a little trivia about Tony Lazzari, Paul. His nickname was Push 'em Up. And the reason was there was an Italian fan at Yankee Stadium that when he wanted somebody to hit a home run, he'd say, push him up. So that's how he became Push 'em Up Tony Lazzari. Strike 3, Voigt down looking.
Savali will throw anything at any time. Split-fingered fastball, and you see the movement back right down the middle of the plate.
So here's Aaron Judge. Judge wrapped into a double play in the first inning. The only time in this game the Yankees had 2 runners on in an inning. LeMahieu doubled to open the game, and Luke Voigt got hit by a pitch. First and second, nobody out, and Judge grounded into a 6-4-3, and then Stanton lined out to right. Also, one other thing about the trivia question. If you looked at that picture, Paul, there was something that was missing. There was an omission on that picture. I wonder if you picked it up.
It was the jersey didn't have the NY on.
Yeah, very good. Look at you.
Huh?
Yes.
I thought that's why I was going to say that maybe that's just like a something. There we go.
Yeah, they didn't have. They actually went without the interlocking NY from 1917 to 1935, and they brought it back for good in 1936.
Would you like to sit at a round table and just have a conversation with those guys, Michael? Just looking at that picture, wouldn't that be fun? Ask a few questions.
I think Babe would get most of the questions.
I'd like to tell them about analytics, see how they agree with that.
I think Babe had a pretty good launch angle.
Yeah, he did.
The 0-2, 1-2.
They have really pounded Judge outside all last night, and then today, you know, he ran one in for that double play, which don't even know if it was intentional or not. But as a hitter, you start looking. I mean, if this is a scouting report, I got to adjust to it, and he's covered that ball away. All of a sudden, see, that split finger has so much movement back into him, almost like a two-seam fastball.
Missed inside, 3-2. And the pitch. Foul back over the screen. High fly ball. Just got under it. Way up there. And Straw makes the play. 2 away. That'll bring up Stanton. Let's take a look at StatCast 3D, brought to you by Google Cloud. And these spaghetti strings are all the home runs hit by Judge and Stanton this year. 35 by Judge, 29 by Stanton. And Stanton's are the white spaghetti strings, and one of those is was called by Paul O'Neill last night.
That's right, the one and only. I got one call this year, Michael,
and you nailed it.
Yeah, it was pretty nonchalant, wasn't it?
High fly ball, right field and deep. Ramirez back on the track. He makes the play for the final out, and Civale has retired the last 7 Yankees in a row. We're going to the 5th. It's 1-0 Indians. Now, Bob, let's go around the majors, and these are notable players in the American League wildcard race. Bobby Dahlbeck's done a good job for the Red Sox, 317 with 9 homers in the last 18 games. Look at Vlad. He's trying for that MVP, trying to convince people, no, not Ohtani. And Matt Olson has been hot all year, and in the last 7 games has gotten even hotter. Miles Straw takes a strike as we start the 5th inning. Top of the Indians' order. It's kind of amazing, Paul, that Vlad has a chance. I don't know if he will. He has a chance to win the Triple Crown, and he will not win the MVP.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to imagine. Obviously, I'm sure it would be the first time in history that somebody won the Triple Crown and was not a shoo-in for the MVP. But you know, what a story. I mean, last year they were talking him down. He did the work in the offseason. You know, you can't help but enjoy watching him play. I mean, he hits the ball all over the place. You just, you know, you just marvel that he's 22 years old. He's got a long, bright future ahead of him.
1-2. Served into right field. Coming on is Judge, and he makes the play to retire Straw. Now we have an update on Joey Gallo. Meredith, what do you know?
I just learned that he exited this afternoon's game with neck tightness. And here's a look at last night. You can actually see him in the dugout grabbing the back of his neck right there. So you wonder exactly what that means for Joey Gallo. We, of course, will have more on the postgame show. And
this was today on a swing. You could see he was in some level of discomfort there. Don't want to play doctor over a video, but it is tightness in the neck. So you hope that it's not a serious issue and that they got him out in time. And I'm sure the training staff working on him right now to loosen that up.
Yeah, that's actually obvious. So we don't speculate. Too many things can happen, but you know, it does happen once in a while. You get neck spasms or down in your trap, and something that can be taken care of. Obviously, that's a big part of this lineup. Now, Joey Gallo has been so good, kind of coming into his own as a Yankee. I miss watching his at bats right now, Michael. I need to see more.
Absolutely. The 2-1. Popped up. Sanchez drops the ball. Mercado was walking back to the dugout, and now he's going to get another swing, and the crowd boos. That was a difficult play because it came back on Sanchez. He reached back, couldn't make the catch.
Well, the sun's an issue here too. Again, I mean, with no glasses on, I mean, he reached back and you'd probably lose the baseball. Everything looks easy on television, but you throw the sun out there and the ball moving a little bit, much tougher. Obviously, it's a ball that needs to be caught by a catcher, but a very tough play into the sun.
And Mercado then gets plunked, and he's going to take first base. So it could have been 2 outs and nobody on. Now it's a runner on first and 1 out. I mean, really, what's the look back at the pitcher for, Paul? I mean, like he wanted to hit him there?
That wasn't even a fastball. That's the problem. But you know what? If you're a hitter, you process it so quick and things hurt. You just it irritates you. But you know, it was not intentional, and it was not a fastball.
Looks like Mercado's still hurting.
Right. Yeah, if you get hit in the right spot, it doesn't really matter if it's a slider, a changeup, or whatever. I think I've told you many times, Michael, one of the worst hit by pitches I ever had was a knuckleball. And I ducked, and it hit me right on the funny bone, and you literally lose the use of your hand. And that, again, looked like it hit him in the elbow, where you can kind of get those nerves going down into your hand, lose feeling.
1-0. One nothing Indians. The Chang home run in the second, the only damage on the board for either team. Yankees have been held to 2 hits over 4 innings after an 8-run outburst with 5 home runs last night. Keeping Mercado close. Ramirez was 1 for 3 yesterday with a walk. He's 0 for 1 with a walk today, and you just want to get the Indians out of here and not let Ramirez get off, because as we mentioned, coming into today in 42 games against the Yankees, .370 batting average, .418 on base percentage with 9 homers and 27 ribbies. A bluff by Mercado. Sanchez up quickly and Mercado didn't go, so the count 3-0.
What just shows how good Ramirez is as a hitter. I mean, a 2-0 changeup just off the outside corner, able to pick that up. And in a hitter's count, you're so aggressive as a hitter. Great take.
And that's inside, so they walk Ramirez. Runners on first and second with 1 man out, and that'll bring up Franmil Reyes. And Aaron Boone doesn't come out to just talk. He comes out and he takes a pitcher with him. So he's going to signal to the bullpen with the dangerous Reyes, who carries 29 home runs into the box, coming up. So Heel gives up 1 run. The runners on first and second are his responsibility. So he departs. They go to the bullpen. Come on back. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. By Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. And by FWM, the official plumbing, heating, cooling, and PVF supplier to the New York Yankees. Well, Heel will now watch Albert Abreu try to get out of this jam, and you wonder, as he puts his head back there, Paul, is he thinking about the pop-up to the catcher that changes the whole tenor of the inning if Gary comes up with it?
Well, after the first inning, he got through the jam, and then, you know, he really found his rhythm for an inning, but then he started to lose his location, and then it was a grind, but, you know, he never has given in. But you talk about going to the bullpen with the same kind of stuff. Albert Abreu, pretty much the same stuff that Heel has. Good fastball, slider, very few changeups, but a huge out right here in Reyes.
Reyes struck out and popped to short. First and second, 1 man out. And Abreu does the inside move to chase Mercado back. .99-mile-an-hour fastball up and in. That'll wake you out of an afternoon daze. Hit sharply and a base hit down the left field line. Mercado rounds third. He will score. Ramirez is hustling to third. They're going to hold him there. It is an RBI double for Reyes, and it's 2-0 Indians.
Yeah, Ramirez and Reyes have had so many chances in this series, and sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. A hanging slider and just hammered down the left field line. Again, with the Yankee offense kind of sputtering, these runs are huge. You see that slider just kind of sitting there. Reyes, a run producer, not going to miss it.
That's his 78th ribby, as Wade got the ball in quickly to keep Ramirez at third. Yankees now have to bring the infield in for Harold Ramirez. And that got him. It clipped him on the way by. Maybe got his belt as the second hit batter of the Indians here in this inning, and the bases were loaded.
He not able to find the inside corner, and Abreu also trying to, bust guys inside, not being able to control that inside corner. Another hit by pitch.
Get him on the blousy part of the uniform top. Now Matt Blake will come out and talk with Abreu. This is a big spot in the game because yesterday, Paul, seems like it was the aberration for the Yankees where they really put up a lot of runs. You don't want to fall that far behind because Savali looks good and the Indians' bullpen's not bad.
Yeah, and so far the Yankees have not shown much offensively. So, you're right, Michael. This is a situation where you really got to minimize, what happens damage-wise as far as runs to stay in this game. Big part of this game right here in the fifth inning.
So here's Yu Chang. He had the long home run off of Heel in the second and then popped to first. So the Yankees back up. They'll play for the double play, obviously. Bases loaded with one man out. Jumps on the first pitch and fouls it away. This is Chang in the second inning.
Hanging sliders, they go a long way. They got Cleveland on the board early.
Line into right field. It is a fair ball. That'll go into the corner. Ramirez scores. Reyes scores. Harold Ramirez will stop at third. It is a two-run double for Chang. Just like that, the Indians lead 4-0.
Well, if you look at this pitch, it's all about the location. I mean, this pitch was supposed to be in. He had just hit a batter, so what do? You kind of pull it over, middle of the plate. Allows Chang to see the ball away and just drive it away. He's had a couple really good at-bats that have really hurt the Yankees so far today.
Now with second and third, still one man out. The Yankees have to bring the infield in again for Miller. Pitch outside to Miller. 1-0. So 3 runs in to make it 4-0 Indians. We're in the top of the fifth inning here at the stadium on this Saturday afternoon. Waved at that slider. 1-1. 5 hits for the Indians. Ramirez at third, Chang at second, 1-1. There's a strike. 100-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2.
You look at Abreu, you look at Hio, it's all about location. There's no problem whatsoever with their velocity and the break on their slider. It's about being able to throw them where you want.
Just got a piece to stay alive.
Well, Gary Sanchez very lucky there. You know, he does not keep that hand behind him, and watch this foul ball. That goes off his finger or his hand. You've got an issue.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Ramirez scores. Chang had to hold up to see if it got through, so he just advances to third. It's an RBI single for Miller through the drawn-in infield. It's 5-0 Indians.
Well, it's becoming an ugly inning for the Yankees. If it hit hard, it finds a hole, and if it's hit up the middle with the infield in, it gets through. And the Indians just keep crossing home plate. Gio Urshela, not enough time by playing in to get over there and knock that ball down.
So they back the infield up to double play depth for Hedges, the 8th batter to come to the plate. And that one's popped up. And the catch is made by Sanchez. And a derisive cheer from the crowd for the second out.
Yeah, the fans don't forget that the last one fell, but again, this one much easier play, not nearly as high. Probably had no issues with the sun.
So here is Andres Jimenez, 1 for 2, the 9th batter to come to the plate for the Indians this inning. High fly ball, right field, Judge back. He's on the track, he's at the wall, see ya. A 3-run home run, a crusher. And the Indians lead 8-0.
You talk about a crusher, you're right, Michael. All of a sudden you think, wow, we can save a couple runs here, 5-0. We'll fight back in it. All of a sudden, boom, in a blink of an eye, and a changeup. Changeup supposed to be down and away. That's down and in, right where a lefty wants it. 3 runs later, get a new baseball.
Straw grounds it to second, so he's 0 for 2 in the inning, but an inning where the Indians scored 7 runs halfway through. It's 8-0 Cleveland. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by New York City Vaccine for All. Safe, free, easy. By the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. And by Stop and Shop. Feed the moment. Those mid-90s Yankees-Indian classes were special. Larry Doby wasn't part of those. What a special player he was. Austin Howard. Well, we go to the bottom of the fifth inning here at the stadium, and it is 8-0 Indians. And, you don't want to pin an entire inning on one play, but you can. You actually can. Because if Gary Sanchez makes that play, which Paul said is a tough play with the sun, the whole inning unfolds differently. Here's Tyler Wade. His first at bat as he took over in left field for Gallo, and he takes a strike.
Well, it's an empty feeling, Mike. I was just looking at Gary Sanchez on the monitor, and it's just like, you know what, in your mind you're processing, the fans know it, your teammates know it, what happened in that inning. You start to blame yourself for the whole thing. Believe me, this is a time of year where, plays are magnified because, wins and losses are so important.
And you're right, Paul, including this game, there are 14 games remaining, and every game has to be clean. And it's tough to make plays like that. And this is the wild card standings right now. It's essentially a three-way tie. You look at the loss column, because you can't make up games in the loss column. 3 teams with 65. And the Yankees showed you how vital they know that defense is when they took Gleyber Torres and moved him off of shortstop because he'd been struggling there and moved him to second. So, that is a big move to make with, at the time, 18 games remaining in the season. But every game and every play and every out means so much. You can't give a team 28, 29 outs when every game is so vital. 2-2. Still 2-2. Bottom of the fifth, 3-3, Orioles and the Red Sox. 8-0 Indians, 7 runs in the fifth. Swing and a miss, Wade down on strikes.
Up next for the Yankees.
Sabali with a good breaking ball down and in. Again, against lefties. Lefties love to drop that bat head. Look for that ball down and in Yankee Stadium. But if you run it in off the plate, you swing and a miss pitch.
Two 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1. So now Sabali could take a breath. Every pitch does not have the game hang in the balance. He's got 8 runs to play with. Cutter gets the outside corner, 2-2. Three and 2 on Torres. Gleyber with a single in the second, then was caught stealing. Grounded to third. Ramirez, 2 down.
Here's Yankees catcher, number 24, Gary Sanchez.
And here's the play that we were talking about. Would have been the second out of the inning. And he can't make the play on the pop-up, and then Mercado then got plunked, so he took first. So rather than 2 outs, nobody on, it became 1 out, 1 on, and then they walked Ramirez and kind of spiraled out of control after that. And here is Sanchez.
You see, Savali has not changed a thing, Michael, from the 1-0 to the 8-0. I mean, still using all of his pitches. Guy that would drive you crazy trying to make a comeback, because, you know, you still have to cover all of his pitches because he's not a 1 or 2 guy pitch count. So he's not going to change anything. He throws them all for strikes at any count.
Two and one. Well, he faced a minimum 3 batters in the second, the third, the fourth, and now looking to do it here in the 5th. And the Yankee chance to really make a statement was early, 1st and 2nd, and nobody out in the 1st inning. And Judge hit the ball hard, but right at the shortstop Jimenez. That was a 6-4-3 double play, and the threat was essentially over. And as with most good pitchers, you like to get them early because they're finding out what's working at that point. Line into left field. It is a base hit in front of Mercado. So Sanchez with a 2-out single here in the 5th. You know, after the Yankees got swept by the Blue Jays here at the stadium, they then began a 13-game stretch against the Mets, the Twins, Orioles, Indians, and will finish up against the Rangers. And that was the stack wins portion of the schedule in September. Because you know you're dealing with the Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays to finish. Well, if they don't come back today, in the first 9 games of the 13 of the stack wins portion, they're 5-4, and that makes it hard. Those are the games you have to win. Line drive right at Miller, and that'll do it here in the 5th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We'll go to the 6th inning. 8-0 Indians.
It's time for tonight's injury, or I should say today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore, doing more. Jamison Tyone was doing some PFPs for the first time since injuring a tendon in his ankle. He also threw his second bullpen. I spoke to Tyone for the pregame show, and he said he was a little concerned about how his ankle was going to hold up fielding his position, but he was pleasantly surprised. Michael, no issues with his ankle. The next step for him is still to be determined. He told me he'll come in tomorrow, see how the ankle feels. There is a lot that goes in to getting him ready as far as treatment is concerned, but it looks as though he'll either make a rehab start or possibly just slide right into the rotation.
Montefiore scoreboard, 8-0 Indians as we go to the 6th. Andrew Heaney comes in for the Yanks. All right, I'm not going to let you off that easily, Meredith. There are other questions.
What are the questions, Michael? Bring 'em.
Severino, what do we have with Sevy?
Well, he threw yesterday, faced hitters for the the first time. He came through that okay. So the Yankees are still deciding whether or not they want to send him on a rehab assignment or if they want him to do another live session, but encouraging news there. Obviously, not enough time for him to get built up. He'd be a bullpen piece or perhaps an opener should he make it back, but certainly something to be encouraged by. Herman is expected to throw in the minors today. It'll be his second rehab appearance. As long as he comes through that okay, he's expected to join the team.
And Loizaga.
And Loizaga had his second day of his throwing program. I did speak to him a little bit after that, and he told me his shoulder has felt okay for a while now. Didn't seem as though there was any doubt in Jonathan Loizaga's mind that he will be back this season.
Anything else I should know, Meredith?
It's a wonderful summer day.
Okay.
It's great, you know.
Wow.
Not great for the Yankees right now, but...
Michael, you got her ready for Jeopardy. That was like rapid fire, and she came right back and didn't even stutter. Right back at you.
I try, Paul. Some days better than others.
Swing and a miss as Mercado down on strikes.
Meredith, I was very impressed with your positive outlook and your voice in an 8-0 game. That's a very, very hard thing to do because Michael can't do that right now. That's why he went to you with all the questions.
And you know what? I understand that. It's obviously not great for the Yankees right now. They need a little bit of offense, but I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, Paul. I'm a ray of sunshine today. A couple days left in summer.
Nice.
I'm choosing to be a ray of sunshine.
Nice.
There's a strike to Ramirez. What do you mean Michael can't do that right now?
Or ever. Or ever, Paul.
He doesn't look for that half glass full. I've noticed that over the years. Sometimes you need that, though, Michael. You need reality, you know?
Mm-hmm. We're in the 6th inning. It's 8-0 Indians, 8-7-0 for Cleveland, 0-3-1 for the Yanks. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Grounded to third, Urshela. And the ball gets by Voit. As Ramirez will go to second. That's LeMahieu, I'm sorry, not Urshela. Muscle memory there, I apologize. So that'll be it's either going to be a straight E5 or a base hit and an E5.
Right down the line. Ball came up to him nice and easy. I'm used to seeing DJ LeMahieu with the throw off line, but this one clearly was Luke Voit.
And it's a straight E5, allowing Ramirez to get to second. There's Reyes at that RBI double in the 5th inning. 0-1. High fly ball. Deep left, going back Wade. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya. 2-run home run for Reyes. It's 10-0 Cleveland.
Reyes making a statement about something. He was yelling at himself all the way around the bases. This has been Haney's nemesis, trying to keep the ball in the ballpark. Another home run given up by Haney.
High fly ball. Wade battling the sun, and he retires Harold Ramirez for the second out. So here is Reyes. I don't know who he's yelling at, and if he's just yelling at himself. He picked up his 30th home run, now has 80 runs batted in on the season.
Some players play with an attitude. Obviously, he was challenging himself. He has had some big at-bats in this series. Finally came through earlier in the game. The big RBI base hit, but then the home run.
Strike to Chang. Two and one. Two and two. Swing and a miss. Chang goes down. But 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left. Good hands, and it belongs to Aaron Sabali. He's done a good job mixing his pitches, changing speeds, and Paul, he's everything you'd want in a starter right now. And if he didn't have the 2.5 months because of the injured finger, he'd have even better numbers.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pregame, June 21st, when he went down with the injury. He was leading the American League in victories with 10. So Quality pitcher. One of those guys you really, really have to concentrate on because of the number of pitches that he will throw at any time.
Montefiore scoreboard, it is 10-0 Indians. And the first pitch to Urshela is a strike. It's 9-1-2 in the Yankees order here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Savali at 73 pitches. Oh, 0-2. Right back to Savali. One down. He has really shut down a Yankee team that exploded yesterday for 8 runs and 5 home runs. He's held them to just 3 hits over 5 1/3. And the loudest hit was the leadoff double by LeMahieu over the head of Straw in center field. That was in the 1st inning. But a soft single by Torres to center. A soft single to left by Sanchez. That's it. Also hit a batter. That was Voit in the 1st. Hasn't walked anyone. LeMahieu takes inside 1-0. So 4 strikeouts, no walks in 5 1/3. And he's dropped his ERA for the season to 3.42. And it's the pitching that the Indians can send out that keeps them from a total teardown. Yeah, trading Lindor is obviously big, and they have a hard time keeping their major stars, but they keep trying to reset because their pitching is so good. And also their pitching allows them to trade pitchers to bring in more talent because they keep developing really good starting pitchers. You got Plesac and Bieber and Savali, and there's more on the way. So when they trade a Bauer, they get back a return. When they trade a Clevenger, they get back a return. Because there's such a need for pitching throughout baseball that you can stack your farm system. If you've got some big arms you're willing to deal, and you know you could replace them from within. Rounded up the middle. Knocked down by Jimenez, but he can't make a play, so it'll be an infield single for LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu during this series has been up the middle pretty much with everything. Couple line drives, here's a ground ball, and finding the holes.
There's Voit. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, we have to keep an eye on this. Top of the 6th inning now, and the Red Sox lead the Orioles 4-3. That's at Fenway Park. Orioles won last night. Check that. The Red Sox won last night, trying to win 2 in a row from the O's. And just getting underway. Now the top of the 1st inning, actually. Minnesota at Toronto. 0-0. And we told you earlier, Seattle KC at 7 o'clock. And Oakland and the Angels at 9:07. That's in Anaheim. So there it is. Scoreboard watching the rest of the way. Now you, as Paul said, you have to take care of your own business, but I'm also curious what the other guys are doing. And it was funny because on Meredith's on-field interview after the game, Paul, Joey Gallo said exactly what you said. He said he doesn't look until later. He said because we have to do what we have to do.
I'll tell you what, these are the games where you start to peek up there early. When it's 10-0, do we have a chance not to lose a game to this team or this team? And you know, you almost wonder, as good as the Blue Jays are offensively, and they were an absolute machine when they walked into Yankee Stadium. If they were all hot, can they go all cold, and they can have a little short stretch here where the Yankees can kind of cruise by them? But their offense seemed pretty solid when they walked in here. And then you go through the Red Sox. I mean, they're kind of in a slugging match today with the Orioles. They are going to score runs. That's just the way their offense is built. Not only with home runs, but they've got guys that drive in runs. They've got 300 hitters. Where the Yankees, you know, you have the the blowouts like yesterday where you have 5 home runs, but then you have days like this where you just can't quite get it going.
So Luke Voigt works a walk, putting runners on first and second with 1 man out. And here comes Carl Willis as he will talk things over with Savali. This is the first time since the first inning the Yankees have 2 runners on in an inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Also, something about the Blue Jays that I've thought about too, Paul. They're still young. I mean, have they really been in this sort of situation? And I love their starting pitching, but yesterday Hyun-Jin Ryu got hit hard and got hit hard early, and that's why the Twins won that game. Will their young pitching that's been really, really good, and Ryu's not young, but will the guys that this is the first time they're going to be in games that every single one matters, or are they going to be able to hold up under the pressure? We'll see. And you can see before tonight or today's game in Toronto, as they were taking BP, Charlie Montoyo, their manager, was playing the bongos in the dugout to entertain his team, to loosen them up. One and 0. And the Blue Jays now fall behind 2-0. Josh Donaldson hit a 2-run home run in the top of the first. So the Twins up 2-0. 1-1. Two and one. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1 on Judge. Stanton's on deck. Yankees down 10-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. This could be 2 again. There's 1. And there's 2. As Judge hits into his second double play in the game. No runs a hit. 1 man left on base. We're going to go to the 7th inning, 10-0 Indians. Second, the Yankees rescheduled the Scooby-Doo bobblehead day to this Sunday, September 19th. So make sure you're at Yankee Stadium tomorrow when the Yankees take on Cleveland in their push for the playoffs, as the first 10,000 guests 14 and younger receive the special Yankees Scooby-Doo bobblehead. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Cadillac scoreboard, 10-0 Indians. Andrew Heaney, in his second inning of work, will deal at the bottom of the order, starting with Miller, and there's a strike. So Judge hits into a second double play. Interesting point. This year, the percentage of grounded into double plays per plate appearance, it's the lowest on record in Major League Baseball since 1949. It's 1.81%. But if you watch Yankee games, you go, really? Well, the Yankees, theirs is 2.53%. That's the second highest in baseball behind the Nationals at 2.56%. And it's kind of unusual for a team that wants to hit the ball in the air. They want to hit home runs, and they've hit into a lot of double plays. 2-2. Hit sharply and past the lunging Torres and into center field. So that's the second hit of the afternoon for Owen Miller.
Again, in 10-0 games, Michael, as a hitter, boy, you take your at-bats, things are going well. We've seen some hard hit balls find holes. It seems like offensively everything working well for the Indians today.
There's a strike to Hedges. Hedges is 0 for 3. 9 hits for the Indians and 10 runs. Runner on first. And Luke Voigt is in front of Miller, but he's not holding him on. So the Yankees are saying, okay, you want to steal up 10-0? I don't think the Indians will. Hedges pops it up to shallow center. Long run for Gardner. He gets there to make the play. Let's take a look at the Audi electric moment. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer and experience the fully electric Audi e-tron today. And that's in the 5th inning. The 3-run home run off the bat of Andres Jimenez. Kind of was the backbreaker. 5-0, as Paul said. You can still imagine coming back. 8-0, that's a hill to climb. Grounded and grabbed by Torres. He fires the second for 1, no return throw. 2 away. So here's Straw. He's 0 for 4. Swing and a miss. Red Sox pulling away from the Orioles. Xander Bogaerts, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th. Now the Red Sox lead 8-3 over Baltimore. There's a strike. And we told you Minnesota leads Toronto 2-0 bottom of the 1st.
So, Michael, if I asked you point blank, all right, I'm just going to say I'm going to put the Yankees in the playoff game, all right, the wild card playoff game.
Served into right field. It is a base hit, cut off by Judge. Going to third is Jimenez. He'll make it. So Straw with a single, first and third with 2 men out.
And just for, conversation, who do you see them playing? Do you see them playing the Red Sox, or do you see them playing the Blue Jays?
I see them playing the Red Sox because the Red Sox have muscle memory. They've done it before. A lot of guys on that team have won a World Series. The managers won a World Series, so I would think the Red Sox would squeak in. How about you?
Well, I agree with you 100%, and I think that baseball has a way of turning it around, and I think the Yankees will play well against the Blue Jays next time they play them, and I think next weekend is going to be something. I think that it's going to come down to how the Yankees play the Red Sox in Fenway next weekend, but you cannot, by all means, look forward to next weekend. You got to close the book on this unless something heroic happens and win this series, take care of Texas before you move on to Boston next weekend.
Because, Paul, the games that you don't win against the Indians and the Rangers are games that you have to win against teams that might be looked at as equal to you.
Yep, and if you look at why Tampa Bay is in such a great spot, look at their record against the Orioles this year. I mean, they took care of business against teams that they should, and that's not always the case with the Yankees. I mean, this game today does not bother me as much as the game you threw away in Baltimore before you got back on this trip. The one-run games are the ones that they haunt you.
There's a strike, 3-1. Well, here are the remaining games, and the Blue Jays have to learn to beat the Twins. The Twins are leading again. They won last night, and they have 4 more at Minnesota. And the Red Sox, well, they've got 3 more at Baltimore and then 3 at Washington to finish the season. So, the Mets series, that could be interesting. And then they have the 3 against the Yankees next weekend at Fenway. But you finish with 6 games against teams that you should beat up. Popped up. Torres makes the play, and that will do it here in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the stretch here at the stadium. Indians lead 10-0, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you rise and remove your caps? Today, the New York Yankees are honored to have as their veteran of the game United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Richard Perez Jr. from Las Vegas, Nevada, who lost his life in 2005 while serving in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say thank you to him and his family for the sacrifice made for our nation. And now, Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean.
For the Indians, 0-4-2 for the Yanks. Savali, 6 innings, 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 4. Luis Gil pitched 1 out into the 5th. Things fell apart after an E2 by Gary Sanchez. Joey Gallo left the game in the 4th inning with neck tightness. Reyes, Chang, Jimenez, each with home runs and 3 RBIs apiece. So that's where we stand as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the stadium. And the new pitcher for the Indians is Brian Shaw. Cadillac scoreboard, 10-0 Indians. 72nd game for Shaw. He's earning his pay.
You know, we're speaking about Reyes. You know, in between innings, it just caught my attention. I was watching as they were singing God Bless America. He was singing word for word. It was so impressive because then I look back. I mean, he was born in the Dominican, grew up there. I mean, just belting it out on the bench. I loved it.
I noticed that too. Strike, 2-1. Well, unless the Yankees rally, a big start for Garrett Cole tomorrow to try to win this series.
You know, Michael, I saw the numbers. I didn't see the game actually when he got back. And I was going to ask you and Meredith, were there any repercussions? Did he look good? Did he look healthy?
He looked fine,
like
except
back.
That one is drilled deep to center field. Going back Straw. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya! 30th home run of the year for Stanton. Puts the Yankees on the board. It's 10-1 Cleveland.
No matter what the score is, Michael, you take pride in your at-bats. Stanton has been hot as anybody on the Yankees. Everybody, you know, kind of like, oh, it's 10-0 doesn't mean anything. Oh, it certainly does. It's just another good at-bat that you can take into tomorrow, and it also put him 100th on the all-time. Tied with Ron Santo, the ex-Cub.
It's also his 6th career 30 home run season. Second with the Yankees. His debut season he had 38. And that would mean he's had 30 or more home runs in all 6 seasons that he's played 120 or more games. So the secret sauce is he stays healthy, he's going to produce, Paul.
And, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that he has been a better player since you see him in the outfield periodically throughout the week. Another hanging slider. We've seen a few of these sliders.
Yeah, you don't think it means something, even though it's 10-0? It means something.
Back to my scouting report, Michael. Give me the scouting report on Garrett Cole and his outing off the IL.
The only thing I could tell you is that obviously his stuff looked good. He didn't have the greatest command. But that's to be understood. He's working on long rest, but he had the hamstring heavily wrapped, and he had a little difficulty covering first base. So there was some talk after the game whether or not it would be wrapped that way again. That was the only thing that I could see. And Meredith, you were in Baltimore for that start. What was the feel?
Michael, I asked him how his hamstring felt afterwards, and he said he thought it responded incredibly well, wasn't too concerned with it, but it was a grind for him. If you remember, he limited the Orioles to just 1 run, but threw 108 pitches over 5 innings, and he said afterwards, as a starter, sometimes you have to go out there and just grind it out. Now, you mentioned the wrap that he was wearing on his left leg. He said he likely will not wear that tomorrow when he starts because he did feel as though it restricted movement, not necessarily while he was pitching. It more had to do with when he was fielding the position. He didn't feel completely comfortable, but Garrett Cole, a guy that is always ready to go out there.
Big start for him tomorrow.
You see he's got his little black bracelet on there, Michael. That's called a whoop. You know what a whoop is, Michael?
No, what is a whoop?
Oh, it's so cool. I have one on my wrist right now. It shows your sleep performance, if you've recovered, if your body's ready to go. It's really, really cool stuff. We need a Team Yes whoop thing. You can get it in a family thing and see if people are doing the right things to work out and stay healthy?
I could tell you, Paul, that whoop would melt on my wrist.
You wouldn't like your recovery? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I mean, if they're going to gauge sleep, that's not good. As Wade goes down swinging, one away. There's a strike. Here's the play I'm talking about, Paul. I'm going to play it first. You can see a little hitch in his giddy up, getting off the mound, but he got there in time. And then the next ground ball to first, Rizzo just took it himself.
Yeah, you don't know if that's actual pain or if it's in the back of your mind or if your leg is wrapped so tight that you don't move real well as far as running from wrapping your hamstring. And that's one thing about a hamstring. There's not much you can put compression on it, but it's not like a wrist or an elbow where you can kind of, you know, wrap it so tight where you kind of lose mobility and take the pain away. I mean, a hamstring has to be able to extend to run.
So how's the readings on your whoop?
Today was awesome. 92% recovery, puts you in the green, makes you feel good for the day. But this thing came out, and a lot of the golfers were into it. You know, it shows what they call strain, and that's how you work out how much calories you burnt in a day, and then it shows your sleep, whether you got enough, whether you're ready for the day. So I'm going to get on a team with you, WHOOP, Michael.
Right.
And we'll see how we do. We'll see how we do, all right?
You're going to put me up against you for physical fitness. Yeah, I've got a good chance.
No, it doesn't have it doesn't necessarily mean fitness. It just means, you know, your own fitness level. Are you getting enough sleep for what you do? Obviously, the 18 shows that you do a day, you need plenty of sleep.
Want to know to Sanchez. Look at me. Tell me I'm not in shape.
Oh, look at that recovery, huh? I like the Yes Muscle shirt too. That's impressive stuff.
You didn't get one of those?
That didn't come in my.
No.
That didn't come in my Christmas bag last year. Nope, I didn't get one.
Meredith, did you get one of those shirts?
I did not get one
No?
of those shirts.
No.
I don't know where mine is. Paul, I'm with you though. I'm ready to get in on this. I know I won't beat you, but I think I got K.
Hey, it's not always about how much you do. It's just whether it's how your own body works. That's what we're talking about.
Nice comment, Meredith. I heard it.
What?
I wouldn't compete with you, but I got K.
Well, you just said you never sleep. Well, neither do I, but Paul is still a finely tuned athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until I get up in the morning and try to walk to get to the sink. Some of the old dive in the outfield catch up to you, I guess.
Sanchez rips one against the wall. He smartly stays at first as Mercado gets the ball in. So Sanchez has 2 hits.
You know, sometimes you can get so mad at a play, and we're talking about the play earlier in the game, that, you know, you force yourself to have good at bats. And Gary Sanchez 2 for 2 since that play. Another good line drive down the left field line. It doesn't make up for it, but it surely makes you feel better about one part of your game, and that's when you go to the plate.
Well, here comes Willis to talk with Shaw. So runner on first, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees get a run on the Stanton home run. And the Indians lead 10-1 here on this Saturday afternoon in the Bronx. More action in the bullpen. Shaw's 33 years old, 11th big league season. Second stint with the Indians. His best years were 2014 through 17. And he's always been a workhorse. He led the American League in appearances 3 times in those 4 years and was a big part of their 2016 American League championship team. There's a strike. So 0-2 on Gardner. Gardner's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a line out to second. Unfortunately for Shaw, he was the Indian that took the loss in Game 7 of the 2016 World Series after Rajai Davis hit the home run off Chapman. Shaw got out of a jam in the 9th, but he gave up 2 runs in the 10th. That ended the Cubs' curse and extended Cleveland's curse. Cleveland was up in that World Series 3-1. 2-2 on Gardner. Three and two, so that's going to release Sanchez at first. 3-2, 2 outs. Shadow starting to creep across home plate here at the stadium. On a bright, sunshiny day.
Sounds like song lyrics. Start singing some songs here. Huh? Saturday in the park.
That's exactly what it is, right? You need some sun. You've been in Studio 21 all year. You haven't even seen the sun yet.
Yeah. That golf course takes care of that.
Oh, they let you out for the golf?
You're looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
Day games, I'm off. Night games, you got to study your notes out on the golf course. Makes things a little more relaxing.
There's a ground ball to first, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the 7th. Ted won. Whoop. There it is. As Garrett Cole. And that's what it means.
Nice.
That's what it turns into, Paul,
Tag
right there.
team, huh?
Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. This is something I've never seen before. This is in right center field over the Yankee bullpen. There's actually real grass out there, so they hoist a mower up on the concrete and they mow that grass out there. That's what the coverage cam found out today. Did you know that even existed, Paul?
No, I thought a weed eater might take care of that, but that's amazing stuff. I mean, you got to do everything the right way if you're in Yankee Stadium, Michael. You got to have it all even out there.
And also, if you just veer off a little bit, it's not a good scene.
Not with a spinning metal blade. No, that probably wouldn't work too well.
1-1 on Ramirez. Reyes, and Harold Ramirez. Mattingly bobblehead day here at the stadium. Tomorrow, Scooby-Doo bobblehead day.
I was just going to say, I'm going to text Mattingly. Oh, boy.
Deep to left field. Fair, it's gone. It is a fair ball. A long home run off the bat of Ramirez, and it's 11-1 Indians. I don't know how that stayed fair, Paul.
Well, his swing, if we watch the replay, I mean, when you stay inside the baseball, you have a tendency to hit it without the hook. And down the line, it's so important because if you get around it, you get that hook spin, it will hook foul. But Ramirez, I've watched him for 3 or 4 years now, just and try to figure out where he generates all his power. And it's just straight to the baseball. And you see how straight that is. There's no hook to it. And that means that you're not coming around it. Just a great swing. Be able to keep that fair.
34th home run of the year.
The baseball. And it's just, I mean, he is a phenomenal player. And Michael, you were talking about it earlier. Does not get his just due because of where he's playing, the team he's playing on. You know, he's got to be in the top 2 or 3 third basemen in all of baseball.
And in his 43rd game now against the Yankees, that's his 10th home run. Lined into center field. It's a base hit for Reyes. So Reyes 3 for 5 today. And one thing you have to be concerned about with Heaney, I mean, it's certainly not splitting the atom here. He's a fly ball pitcher where in this ballpark and baseball now is a home run sport. He's given up a lot of home runs, so 2 more today. And he's got to find a way to keep the ball in the ballpark. 0-1 on Harold Ramirez. Oh, and 2. Good looking lid. Oh, he goes around. So Ramirez down on strikes. Well, tomorrow on Yes, we spoke about it. Garrett Cole will take the mound as the Yankees and the Indians wrap up this 3-game weekend set. Coverage starts at noon with batting practice today in the DraftKings Yankees pregame. Then we're back with first pitch right around 1. Only on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Fly ball left field. And Wade makes the play for the second out. Well, the chase for postseason berth is coming down to the wire, and Yes's Curtain Call podcast has you covered. The latest episode takes an in-depth dive into the last few weeks of the season and forecasts the Yankees' chances at playing deep into October. Listen to the Curtain Call podcast now wherever you get your podcast. It's a conversation with the great John J. Filippelli and Kevin Sullivan. It's a really good podcast, and you can get it where you get your podcast. Now, this is Heaney's 12th game with the Yankees, just with the Yankees, and he's allowed 13 home runs with the 2 today. And then when you look at him with the Angels and the Yankees, he's now allowed 29 home runs. And that's in 30 games. Foul back by Miller.
So, Michael, we were just talking about Garrett Cole, so I'm thinking tomorrow, he pitches tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would, if you do the math, set him up for that first game in Boston also on Friday night. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's as good as it gets.
That's what you want. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 11-1 Indians. This fall, Yes is putting you in a New York plate of mine with the new series Home Plate streaming on the Yes app. Join celebrity chef Marcus Samuelson, we had him up in the booth, great guy, and some iconic New York athletes to celebrate the city's diverse culinary scene. Home Plate premieres this Tuesday, September 21st, with new episodes dropping every week, and that's exclusively on the Yes app. And the first guest is going to be David Cohn, who's going to eat some barbecue with Marcus.
Coney.
Yeah.
This is barbecue being from Kansas City, huh?
That's right. All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning on the Hyundai scoreboard. Now, let's break this down with Cole. All right, so he's going to pitch tomorrow. Now, if you keep him on the normal rest, you just skip somebody over and you pitch him Friday, but because Thursday is an off day. Now, if you pitch him Friday against Boston and you pitch him 5 days later, then you could have him in the Toronto series, and that leaves open the possibility, if you pitch him on Wednesday in Toronto, that if they have to win that last game against Tampa Bay, then they could ask him to go on 3 days rest in a must-win situation to get in. And if they don't, that sets them up beautifully to start the first, obviously the wild card game. So that's something that the Yankees have to consider. Do they start him on the Friday in Boston, or do they give him the extra day because of the off day and start him Saturday? Then he would start the final game against Toronto and would not be available to pitch that final game against Tampa Bay if they needed to win it. So these are some of the decisions they have to make. Justin Garza comes on, and a 1-2 count on Urshela. Foul ball. I guess the best way to put it, Paul, if you're going to pitch him on normal rust, you got him for 2 more starts. And if you want to squeeze that 3rd start out of him, it's going to have to be on 3 days rest. And that might be a game that they desperately have to have just to get in. So the way it looks right now, it doesn't look like the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, or the Yankees are going to pull away and have a comfortable lead. But is it going to be one game heading into that Sunday? The 1-2. Soft ground ball. Charging is Jimenez. And Chang comes up with the throw for the first out.
Well, a jam shot right here. Jimenez, if you look at him defensively, boy, he's been sound in these couple games. Swinging the bat pretty well, too. Offensive numbers not really great for the year, but defensively, there's a lot of good things out there.
Here's LeMahieu against Garza, and the pitch is inside 1-0. Now I've got a question for you, Paul. If you have to use Cole in that last game of the season, game 162, who are you starting in the wild card game?
Well, right now, I would say Monty. I mean, he's thrown the ball well, but if Kluber continues to progress like he did last night, then would you want a veteran pitcher pitching that game? So, that's an option too. So, as this closes out, a lot of these will be answered by how they play as a team and what games they need to win. But obviously, in a 1-game series, you'd love to have Garrett Cole taking the mound healthy.
Now, Kluber has great numbers from his time with the Indians in the postseason. Again, that's vintage Kluber back then. And a wild card, I don't think they would use him in the wild card, but you can't look down your nose at the job that Nestor Cortez has done. Every time out on the mound, he has given them a chance to win. So it'll be interesting to see if they have to use Cole in the last game of the season, who they would start in the winner-go-home wild card game. And that's why it's so important to win the division rather than leave your entire season up to just one game where a guy could just have a bad game and then all of a sudden you go home.
Right. But I do like the rule, Michael, because, I mean, in the old days, and we took advantage of it numerous times in the late 90s by winning the World Series out of the wild card, there was really no disadvantage of winning the wild card. Now, there's a disadvantage, clear. You usually have to use your ace. You're going to lose him for the next series, pitching twice probably. So there is something to be said for the longevity of the season, winning the division. You should have an advantage.
Yeah, because Joe Torre would be fine with going in as the wild card because there wasn't a negative. There wasn't any disadvantage, as Paul said, because you just go into a best-of-5 series and you wouldn't have home field advantage. But this now is one and done, and as Paul said, if you have to use your best pitcher, that means he pitches once in the division series. As LeMahieu walks. And a lot of the complaint about this is the way this is set up is, well, it's not fair to have your whole season come down to one game. And my answer to that would be, well, then win the division. Then it'd be more fair.
Yeah, I mean, look at the old days before the wild card. Was that fair that you could win 97 games and not even make it to the playoffs? So, you know what? I love the wild card. I think it makes it exciting for a lot of teams. Look at the American League East right now, coming down to the wire. So I do believe in, winning the division, having an advantage. So I think baseball's done a good job at, kind of revising what they started with and just having one wild card.
And look at the wild card in the National League. That's going to be a dogfight, too. The first one, it's going to be either the Giants or the Dodgers, but the second wild card, who's it going to be? And it keeps a lot of cities interested. San Francisco's on pace for 105 wins. The Dodgers on pace for 103. One of those teams is going to be a wild card team.
Right. Yeah, that was my point. One of those teams in the old days win over 100 games, not even make the playoffs. I mean, that's that'd be tough.
Two-one. The current second wild card in the National League would be St. Louis, and the Cardinals are on an 85-win pace. And as we said yesterday, Fangraphs projecting the second wild card in the American League will take 91 wins to get in. 3-1. 3-2 on Voit. I mean, you talk about no wild card. In the 1980s, the Yankees had the best record in baseball. And after they played in the World Series in '81, they didn't make the playoffs the rest of the decade. And they had the best record of any team, wins-loss wise, in all of baseball. But there was no second door to get into the playoffs. 3-2. High drive, left field. That ball's going to go. See ya. A long drive into the seats for Luke Voit. It's a 2-run shot, and the Indians lead 11-3. So 2-run home run for Voit, his 11th of the year.
Well, this is one of the things. It's almost like too many cooks in the kitchen here with Aaron Boone. I mean, you want Luke Voit's bat. You want Rizzo's defense and his grittiness as part of coming over and the balance of the lineup. And, coming into today, Rizzo not in the lineup, day off. Well, you know what? When you have been through what these guys have been through, Luke Voit and Rizzo fighting and doing things like that, you want to be in the lineup every day. I mean, this is a tough call day in and day out for Aaron Boone.
And really the thing that makes it difficult is that Brett Gardner's playing so well. Because you want Gardner's bat in the lineup as well, because if you move Judge to center field, Gardner's out. And that means Stanton has to play right and Gallo has to play left. That's the only way that Voit could get in every day as the DH. Swing and a miss, 2-1. So it's a little bit of a clunky fit because, Voigt's a first baseman or a DH. He can't play any other position. Same thing with Rizzo. Now with Gallo's neck forcing him out of the game today, stiffness in the neck, maybe you do employ both Judge and Stanton in the outfield, and that allows Voit to hit as a DH. But your hope is that Gallo could get back and he doesn't miss any time.
Yeah, neck injuries can be, frustrating because they hurt. But, it is something you can treat and usually get through. And hopefully you see Joey Gallo in the lineup this week.
Well, Judge works a walk against Garza. And here comes Willis to talk with Garza.
Yeah, we talked yesterday about Carl Willis. I can only imagine what he's going to, son, you need to throw strikes. It's just,
Well, tomorrow after the postgame, stick around for an all-new episode of Homegrown, The Path to Pinstripes. Go behind the scenes with the Somerset Patriots and catch up with one of the Yankees' top pitching prospects, Luis Medina. That's tomorrow after Yankees coverage right here on Yes. So here's Stanton, his home run in the 7th. Then he put the Yankees on the board, their first run. And Blake Parker had a cup of coffee with the Yankees. He's warming to the Indians. Pitches high to Giancarlo.
Michael, you're kind of a rocker. I was just looking at that mound visit, and look at Hedges. It's little Dave Grohl, huh? In the Foo Fighters.
I could see that.
Tough.
Got the flowing hair.
I don't know if he's quite the drummer that Dave Grohl is, but have to give him a chance, right?
The 2-0. 3-0. You still drumming, or you gave that up?
No, I kind of retired. I might get back into it. I was just, Andy got so good at it. It's just like, you just take all the drums. You're better than I am, and I just got away from it. But I do miss it a little bit.
High fly ball, center field. Straw there to make the play for the second out. I have a little factoid for you about Carl Willis, and I know you know him, but I don't know if you know this. You played for a manager once who was a self-proclaimed Andy Griffith Show superfan, Buck Showalter. Knew everything. Carl Willis is a bigger fan of that show than Buck.
You got me there. Yeah.
Andy.
As we go to break, I'm going to look that one up, Mike.
Barney. Floyd the Barber.
See you later, Barney Fife.
NYCFC looks to strengthen their top 4 playoff position with a road match against FC Cincinnati. Coverage starts at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. NYCFC has never lost to Cincinnati, dominating them in 5 straight games going back to the 2019 season. And NYCFC is one of the highest scoring teams in the league. They're a fun watch. Joe Tollison and Ian Joy, they can bring it. Here's Blake Parker.
Tell you what, that Cincinnati soccer here has become a social event. I mean, they draw well. They're not the greatest, but people enjoy it going to the games here.
There's Tyler Wade. Wade came into the game in the 4th inning when Gallo had to leave with a stiff neck. And in Wade's 2 at-bats, he has struck out. There's a strike. Parker is 36 years old, 9th big league season. He had signed a minor league deal with Cleveland this year. He was called up in June. And he pitched with the Yankees in 2016. They picked him up after Seattle claimed him off waivers. Then the Angels picked him up off waivers after that season. He had 2 good years for them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's got a lot going on before he ever throws the baseball. I mean, we got hands, feet, everything moving.
Hot shot past the diving Miller into right field. It's a base hit for Wade as Judge stops at second. Here's Torres. It's 11-3, Indians over the Yanks. And the pitch to Glaber is high, 1-0. One and one. Judge at second, Wade's at first. Popped up. Jimenez in short left field will make the play, and that'll do it. Yankees put 2 runs on the board on the Voit home run. They leave 2. We go to the 9th.
Bobblehead day. And Paul, you said you were going to text him to see what he thought about it. Don't worry, I already took care of it. He was asked about it in his pregame scrum, and he said he likes it. Decent position, stacked on the back. Head's a little heavy, though. He was asked what he thinks about the stash and the sideburns. He said, yeah, well, those are there. And then he was also asked if there was any chance they'd end up coming back at some point. And he said there is little chance of that. They tend to show up in the winter, but that usually comes with more of a beard, and that doesn't go over very well in his house. Now, he does hope to get a bobblehead to give to his son, and something tells me somebody in the Yankees organization will find a way to get Donnie Baseball his own bobblehead.
I will tell you this, Paul, I don't know if you agree. You know, bobbleheads are kind of hit and miss. I think they really got his likeness down perfectly. That really looks like him.
Well, I was going to finish the story because I was going to text him, and I'm like, you know, it's your bobblehead, and you're followed up by Scooby-Doo the next day. So it's just like, it's amazing stuff. But you know what? All the joking aside, there's not too many people that I ever played with that I had more respect for than Donnie Baseball.
Joely Rodriguez takes over here in the 9th inning. Yankees trailing 11-3 to the Indians. You know, we were talking about the advent of the wild card. So James looked this up, Mattingly, how he was affected by, you know, until the last year there was no wild card. The 95 season was the first wild card, which you guys captured. So Mattingly's Yankees had 3 second-place finishes in his career. In 1985, they won 97 games, but they were 2 games behind Toronto. They were 6 games better than the Western champ, Kansas City. That was the 4th best record in Major League Baseball. They went home. No wild card. 1986, they won 90 games, 3rd in the American League, but 5 games behind Boston. And 1993, 88 wins, 3rd in the American League, 7 games behind Toronto. So if there was a wild card, he'd have seen more playoff action before 1995. 1-2. You always say that about Mattingly. What made him gain your respect to that level? Why was he a little different?
You know, you just being around him, you felt like you knew him for a long time. He was always on the page as far as wanting to work and talk about the game. And there's not too many people that you never hear a bad thing about from anybody that played with him or played against him. I mean, you never heard guys on other teams ever say anything bad. He was just absolutely admired by a lot of people just because, you know, he was a gritty player. I mean, he's not 6'5", 250 pounds. He learned how to hit. He was smaller first, but unbelievably defensively. And he just became a fan favorite, too.
Well, he was definitely one of my favorite people to cover. He was tremendous in every way, shape, and form. And you know, through the rough years, he just went out there every single time and played the game hard.
And was there a guy that put on the eye black better than Cap? I don't think so.
No, that's the only thing missing on the bobblehead, which you could actually draw on once you get it at home.
Little Sharpie.
Yeah.
Little Sharpie eye black. All right.
You almost think that Donnie was born with eye black. He just looked like he belonged on his face. And he should do that as a manager. If Dusty Baker could wear sweatbands, Mattingly could wear eye black.
Mike, I'm going to tell you a story. And I can tell it now because we're not going to get in trouble. But, you know, back we were playing in Texas. And Cap was telling me how good he was in basketball. And so we went to the YMCA. I hope Buck Showalter's not listening because he'll probably find us to this day. And we're shooting around. And we're going to play a little one-on-one. And he threw a ball at like the first shot. I literally looked at him like, Cap, are you kidding me? That's the best you got? So we played basketball for about an hour. And then we snuck back in the hotel. We went that night. And I remember he had a really big game offensively. I had a home run. And I walked on the bus. And I said, Cap, if we got to play hoops every day before the game, that's the way it's going to be, all right? And he just giggles and laughed, and I went to the back of the bus. But I'll never forget that in Texas one day. A little one-on-one with Don Mattingly before the baseball game.
He did talk up his basketball skills.
Oh, did he?
Swing and a miss. Jimenez down on strikes. So I mean, I'll tell my quick Mattingly story. I had a great relationship with him, really did. And I was a writer, and one day I guess I wrote something he didn't like, and there was a whole scrum of people around his locker, and he said something like, he goes, yeah, except for some jerks that write things that aren't true, or, you know, that, and I'm looking at, and he didn't say anything to me, right? But I knew he was talking about me, and so did everybody that was there, and I left the stadium that night, and his wife was outside. And she said, what's wrong? She could see something. I said, well, your husband, blah, blah, blah. And I told her what happened. And she goes, well, I'll take care of that. So the next day I walk into the clubhouse and Mattingly pulls me aside and said, listen, I shouldn't have done that, man. I'm sorry. And I said, well, Donnie, you know, you kind of made made me look like an idiot in front of 20 people. Why don't you apologize in front of 20 people? And he looked at me and goes, don't push it, Mike. And he just walked away.
Oh, we got the eye black on.
There you go. Perfect. Oh, and 2 on Straw.
Don't push it.
Don't push it, Mike. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Strong inning for Rodriguez. He retires the Indians in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's the Indians 11, the Yankees 3, under the watchful eye of Donnie Baseball, Donald Arthur Mattingly. Time for the Land Rover drives of the game, Paul.
Well, it scares me when you say drives because they've had 4 of them. Chang started it off way back, a hanging slider. That got him going. I tell you what, and nothing stopped him. Cleveland has been on the ball all day. And a 30th of the year right there. And it just continues. Heaney had his problems also. Ramirez topped it off with another one. 4 total for the Cleveland Indians. Those are your drives of the game, brought to you by Land Rover.
And now, because it hasn't been a tough enough day for the Yankees, they've got to face Emmanuel Clase, who is in a Class A by himself. He is that good. He's sporting a 1.44 ERA, 23 of 27 in save opportunities, 66 strikeouts in 62 and 2/3 innings. His stuff, players say, filthy, electric, dirty, whatever the case may be, but he's hard to hit.
Well, when you have a 100-mile-an-hour cut fastball, that says enough. You don't need anything else. But he's got a few other pitches too. Michael,
yeah.
Sorry to say that I just got text by Buck Showalter. He fined me $100.
Wow.
For playing basketball with a cap. I thought the time would have expired, but I guess not. It's on the way, Buck. Venmo.
You think Buck has Venmo or PayPal?
I don't know. I got neither unless my wife's around.
So here is Clase against Sanchez. 101 miles an hour with shadows. That's not fun, Paul.
No. This is not your ideal at bat, down 8 runs, where you're trying to lock in for tomorrow and have a good at bat.
Two and 0. Now, Clase hasn't pitched in 3 days. That's why he's in an 8-run game. And it's always a delicate balancing act with your closer. You want to give him rest, but too much rest is not good either. Now you got to stay tuned for Bob Lorenz on the postgame show, Meredith as well, but we'll give you the scores right now. Toronto has now moved ahead of Minnesota 4-2 on a 3-run home run by Teoscar Hernandez. And it's over at Fenway. The Red Sox have beaten the Orioles 9-3.
I don't know if you noticed, Michael, but the last 2 pitches have been 102. I mean, this is just things that you have not seen in baseball. You know, it just arms coming up from the minor and just showing up into the major leagues, throwing 100+ like it's nothing.
Well, Zach Plesac, yesterday's Indian starter, said every time Clase's throwing, we're all at the edge of the dugout watching, and that's exactly what they're doing right now, leaning against the fence. Popped up shallow right. Ramirez makes the play. And they got Clase from the Texas Rangers in the Corey Kluber deal. They got Clase and Delino DeShields Jr. And Kluber hardly pitched for the Indians because of injuries.
Michael, have James look up what Clase's top velocity pitch is this year, because the last 3 were 102, 102, 103. Just wonder how high he has been.
There's Brett Gardner. I always have arguments on my talk show, Paul, and you could speak to this because you did play the other sports in high school too. If you can imagine the eye blink time that it takes to hit a baseball, this guy's throwing 103 miles an hour. That is the single hardest thing to do in all of sports. I'm sorry, I can't even imagine anything that would be harder. I don't know how it's done.
Well, I tell you one thing that's amazing, and you know, a 90-mile-an-hour, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. You know, you gauge yourself like when I was playing. That was it, and you're right. It is an eye blink. The difference from 92 to like 96, unbelievable difference. You're beat. I can only imagine when you get to 102, 103. There's just no time to adjust to anything. It's almost like you have to guess location and just get going, and that's why you'll see so many swing and misses on pitches out of the strike zone against hard throwers, is that you just have no time to really pick up the ball and adjust to anything.
How's it done then? I mean, you just have to pick a level and just swing? Because you can't adjust to any break. Thing,
I tell you how it is done is your mind, your eyes, your bat, you train them to do things, and there's no thought process in it. It's a reaction. If there was a thought process in it, then I think it would be impossible. It's just something that you react to. You've done it so many times. You've gone over it so many times that you just do it. And, you know, if you think about it, all right, see the release point, pick up the seams, adjust. Yeah, right. You've got no chance.
So we looked it up. James looked it up. 103 is his top velocity this year on a pitch. All right, so you never faced Clase. Who was the guy that you went up there going, this, I don't know how this is going to work out?
Well, Randy Johnson was that to me because he threw 100 and he was left-handed from a release point you didn't pick up well, so that added velocity to it. So, you know, a guy that just I knew going up there that unless he made a glaring mistake and hung a slider, I really had no chance, was Randy Johnson.
That's got to be a helpless feeling.
It is. It's horrible. I mean, but you keep telling yourself that somehow, some way, it's going to happen, or he's going to miss, or this or that. It just, it's frustrating. And then there's other guys that you can see, you have time, you know you're going to hit the ball hard, and those are the fun at bats.
The 1-2. Pretty impressive at bat for Gardner. He's making contact. Well, his 4 fastest pitches of the season, we're talking about Clase A, Paul, were today. 3 in the Sanchez at bat, and then the first one to Gardner.
You know, most of his 100-mile-an-hour ball pitches are cut fastballs, which take a little bit of the velocity off. He got behind in the count to Sanchez, probably just went to the four-seamer, lit it up at 103.
Two and two.
Wow. All right, James, get those fingers going over there. Fastest pitch in the major leagues this year.
Two. A 9-pitch at bat, a 38-year-old veteran up there, battling, scrapping, clawing against Emmanuel Clase, trying to stay alive. Three and two. Well, the fastest pitch that James has found was from Aroldis Chapman. He struck out Matt Chapman in June, 103.4. Off the glove, and that is an impressive at bat. I'm sorry, I know it's 11-3, but Paul, you've got to appreciate what Gardner just did with shadows and this guy throwing like that.
Yeah, that's just mental discipline, just not giving in. You know, it's important whether you're leading off a game or, you know, it's 11-3. It's just the discipline of trying to compete and do your best. And, you know, when it comes out to look like that, I mean, then you're impressed by it.
Well, fans, the WB Mason postgame coming up right after the final out, so stick around as the studio team brings you highlights, analysis, clubhouse reaction, and the manager's report with Aaron Boone, all coming out right here on Yes. So an 11-pitch walk worked by Gardner, and the first pitch to Urshela is up and in, 1-0. James, was the fastest recorded pitch ever the 105 point whatever by Chapman that he has tattooed on his wrist? The 1-0. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 2-0. So again, when you trade players like the Indians did with Kluber, and you could get somebody like Clase in that deal, and then Kluber doesn't pitch hardly at all for the Rangers, you've made a good deal. 2-1. He was the American League reliever of the month in August, 12 2/3 scoreless innings. He was 6 for 6 in saves. Aaron Savali, who started this game and will get the win if they hold on, said it's cool to see 3 digits pop up when he throws a fastball. It's 10 miles an hour harder than most of my pitches. 2-2. Clase was actually suspended last year for PED use. And so people wondered, well, if he wasn't using, would he still be throwing as hard? And you would assume he's not using this year, and he's throwing harder. 2-2. Swing and a miss. That was the slider at 92 miles an hour. Urshela goes down on strikes, and the Yankees are down to their final out.
You can tell by that swing, just an awkward time to hit right now with the shadows, especially with somebody throwing triple digits and then a hanging slider. You just kind of wave at it. You just don't pick it up. And you see balance all off. Very hard to hit, let alone in shadows.
And Paul, the six fastest pitches on record are all by Chapman. And his fastest was 105.7 against J.J. Hardy of the Orioles on July 18th of 2016. 0-1 on LeMahieu as the Yankees trying to stay alive in a game they're trailing 11-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ground ball to first. Chang fields. He'll take it himself. And that will do it. A rough Saturday afternoon for the Yankees as the Indians beat them 11-3 as the Indians scored 7 runs in the 5th inning and never looked back. So the Yankees will try to take the rubber game of this 3-game set with Garrett Cole on the mound. And Paul, you always talk about this. This is one you have to get over and look to tomorrow.
No doubt about it. I mean, you got no chance to sit here and dwell on this. I mean, this race is every single day. It seems to be flip-flopping. Tomorrow, hopefully, the Yankees get off to a little better start, put some runs on the board, give Garrett Cole an opportunity to shut these guys down.
All right, we still have a lot to do. We'll come back, we'll wrap things up, and then Bob Lorenz will be on the post-game show. That's coming up right here on Yes.